Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Wednesday, August 15th, 2018. My name is Rich, and joining me once again to cover the Philly Finals is Bijan. How you doing?
You sounded so bored saying my name. What's going on, man?
Not much. It's a little hot here for me, and I know it's not even close to as hot as it is there, but all the fans off and everything, so we can record. It's starting to heat up.
Yeah, the heat stroke is real, y'all. Stay hydrated, stay cool. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. It's hot.
Yeah. Not as hot as it was last week when I was on vacation. I'm still on vacation, but I actually did a little traveling. Went over to Prince Edward Island. I hit a trampoline park. Lots of stuff going on. It was lots of fun.
Dude, we gotta talk about this trampoline park. For everybody like on Instagram and everything that saw it, Rich went to pretty much like a ninja gym. Come on, give the deets, bro.
All right, so I was a little nervous about going. So it's funny. I reached out on Twitter. I was just like, hey, middle-aged, out-of-shape guy. What do I need to worry about? And do you know who was the first person to get back to me? Kind of like the absolute perfect person to respond in that case.
Oh gosh. I don't even know, man.
If you had to pick anybody, it hadn't crossed my mind, but when she replied, I was like, oh my God, Joyce Shabazz is absolutely the perfect person to reply.
Oh, actually, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so she gave me some tips on, basically how, stretching and things like that. Barclay reached out and told me about not putting my hands down on the trampolines and things like that. So,
yeah.
And thank you. A few other people had reached out too. Selena Laniel, sorry, I don't remember everybody's names. I think Will from 222. Yeah, it was great tips. I didn't hurt myself, which was the big thing. I got to try some things, kind of like a modified, easier version of the quintuple steps and things like that. And the trampolines themselves, I had a blast.
That's really cool, man. Trampolines, there are, you can really get hurt on a trampoline. You really need to know how to do it. It sounds like you definitely took the right steps to prepare. And also, you took it seriously, which is good. With the quintuple steps and all of the ninja, obstacles that you did, how did you find it, as you said, you are representing a kind of a slightly different demographic, You are a little bit older, I'm not going to, but whatever, right?
Right.
So
hey, you're 30 plus now, too.
Yeah, dude, I'm 30. Ugh, the white hairs are growing. For real, though, what do you have to say, when you're trying them out, the first times, anything shock you?
I actually didn't appreciate, and it's funny because I'm sure it wasn't even as steep, but now I get why people fall off the quintuple steps. It's really not as easy as it first seems, and it's a little intimidating to jump onto some of these things, even with foam pits there and everything else. Is I have a very small appreciation for people going out to do these obstacles now, because it takes some nerve to jump onto something and not know if you're going to fly backwards or what's going to happen. Also, slack lines are as difficult as they look.
Slack lines are just the devil's work. I hate those things.
But I got onto some climbing holds. So there was a wall of climbing holds to kind of scoot across. It wasn't up. It was more across.
Yeah. How do you feel about those?
They were great. I loved it. I flew right across it. That was the easiest thing.
Nice.
Because it was an easier course.
Yeah. But dude, climbing holds are fun, man.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. After doing that, I got the bug. And I dragged my wife and daughter over to a climbing gym that just opened here.
Oh, boy. See, that story's got layers. Okay, let's go, man.
So I talked to the lady there for a while. I didn't dress for it or anything. I just wanted to go and get some information. What do I need? How do I prepare? That kind of stuff. Yeah, I got all the info. I think this weekend we're going to head over and give it a try. It sounds really fun. I'm super excited.
Dude, that's awesome. After the podcast, nobody needs to hear 20 minutes, but I'll give you some pointers
right.
for climbing gyms and stuff. And I'm sure a lot of the ninjas also. It's going to be really fun, and I'm sure you're going to have a blast. Dude, film it this time. Bring yourself out and film yourself, doing some bouldering, doing some high climbing, things like that. Trust me, you're going to have a blast. Of course, stay safe. Just do the V0s, V1s, VBs. You'll know what that means eventually, and right. You'll have a really, really good time. Trust me.
All right, so let's get into the actual episode here. So the beginning segment here kind of mirrors what you said about the promo for this week. It looked like they were hardcore going to give us a female finisher this week, didn't it?
Yeah. Dude, I was so ready. And I so strongly thought it was going to be Michelle Warnke. I didn't know if Alyssa Beard was on this episode, but as soon as I saw Alyssa Beard, I was like, well, it was a two-man thing. Like, I see Michelle Warnke as the first runner of the night, and I'm like, well, she's going to go far, but I don't think she's finishing. But then I saw Alyssa Beard on this episode, and I'm like, oh, they just spoiled it. It's so going to be Alyssa Beard. Like, there's a chance it could be like some of the others, because this region has, in my opinion, the strongest like group of female ninjas. But I thought Alyssa Beard had it. I thought it was all amping up to her.
Oh, they totally got me. I thought maybe there was more than one. I was so into this. And then he said Michelle walked out, and I thought, okay, maybe not Michelle. I thought, how weird would it be if they showed a finish as the first run of the night? That would be cool.
That would be dope, man. Especially like a history-making first run.
Yeah. But no, and then I had lots of hope for all the other women. Like you said, such a strong region. We had some very strong rookie women. I was like, oh my God, I will lose my mind if Casey Rothschild manages to take it down her first time on the course. I would just be absolutely beside myself. And I didn't see it as being impossible. I really thought she could.
No, she has all the athleticism in the world to do it. I mean, I don't know. I see very big things coming from her.
So looking at the course itself, we had a couple new obstacles added in. One, Spinball Wizard's not new, but new-ish, and Captain's Wheel.
Where is Spinball Wizard from? I've seen it before, and I just can't name it. Was it like last year or something?
Yeah, one of the regions last year had it.
Gotcha, because like they're acting like it's some new thing, and I'm like, I've 100% seen this before, but I could not tell you from where.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which region, but I definitely looked familiar. Captain's Wheel. What do you think of it, I guess?
I like it. Visually, it's very interesting. I really like the visual aspects of it. In terms of like the difficulty, I definitely think it's there, and I think when you see it in practice, you get more of a feel for like how tough it is. The fact that you have to use a lot of your back muscles and a lot of your grip, and if you don't, like, there's a bunch of techniques to do it, but there are a lot of techniques that can really make it hard for you, so to speak. So I like the ingenuity of there's not just one clear-cut way of doing it. Also, I like the fact that, like, obviously, in my opinion, if you were allowed to use your feet, a lot of people would be hanging from that middle part, so they force you to use the hands. I know you don't like that, Rich, necessarily, like when they kind of put limitations on it.
Yeah.
But I feel like for this obstacle, you kind of have to make them you only use their hands. Otherwise, everybody's going to be dangling, from their feet, legs, and, shaking it all out. I like the fact that it switches up. It kind of reminds me of the the wing nuts last year in stage 2, right, where it kind of changes directions. Other than that, it's all the same movements. They're not changing too many things up, but I think they change enough up with directions and everything like that it's interesting enough. And we saw it was difficult, man.
Yeah, it was very difficult, and it was pretty visually interesting. Some pretty key skills, not unfair to any particular sized athletes. Overall, yeah, great new addition. No problems with it. So as we mentioned, Michelle Warnke was the first to take the course. I was really worried about her being the first run of the night. I know they've had a tendency this season to show some longer runs, but I thought, man, she might have an early fall if she's going first.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just assumed she was going. I assumed she'd get that like the second furthest woman spot.
I honestly thought she was going out in the salmon ladder. They really were going on about the salmon ladder. Only one woman's ever failed it. They were really talking about the salmon ladder so much. I thought that was it. She's totally going out on the salmon ladder, but she didn't. She made the transition on the captain's wheel. I was losing it. I was like, oh my God, are they going to show a finish as the first run of the night? But no, she fell off after making a few turns on it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and what a weird stat, man. I caught that too. Only one woman's failed on the salmon ladder. I'm like, why are you telling me this? Like, I that was one where I perked up, being like, okay, so are we about to see the second woman? Like that.
It was a weird thing to throw in
Very
there.
strange set.
Yeah, and interesting too. We had a fast forward of Cara Polillo, who went out on the Archer steps. I never would have guessed that. Ever. She looked so strong in the qualifiers, and Ninja Babes, great podcast. I thought she was going to get a big segment this time, but unfortunately just got tripped up.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. When I saw people training for the Archer steps, before the season started, it was slightly modified, a little bit more difficult, but a lot of people had difficulty with the transition from the steps to the rope. And I think it's just because you have to do it all in one forward motion. I don't know. It didn't really play a part necessarily in this episode because people were grabbing the rope, right? It just seemed to be like the transition off from the rope back onto the platform, which is, I don't know. I don't know what necessarily was causing all the trouble.
I think that's the only real trick to the Archer steps right now is that you have to get a good run at it, and you've got to go and let go at the right time. Like it's almost like a one and done. You can kind of recover, but it's tricky to get back there.
Honestly, I'm not necessarily complaining, but I do think the Archer steps are a little too nerfed right now. I think they got scared by everybody failing with the original version of the Archer steps. I would not be surprised if they not necessarily go back to the original version of it. And I'm still being vague. I'll tell you guys later, like at the end of the season, what the original version was, because I just don't know if it's going to be in Vegas. But yeah, I could see them changing some things up.
Then again, we don't want people falling on the first obstacle. Like that's not fun. No one wants to see that. We want it to be relatively easy to start.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I mean, yeah, we saw this episode. You just don't want to see people fall on the first obstacle. So that's a good point.
Yeah. Next up, we had Darian Bennett, who's holding down 3 jobs. New dad with an absolutely adorable kid. He's an inspector. He works at Cracker Barrel, and he's a parkour coach. Like that's an interesting trifecta of jobs there.
Yeah, like they aren't anywhere near each other in terms of like the same field or anything. Like
no,
this dude does everything.
Jack of all trades. He slipped on the steps, but he was able to recover, and he fell on the second wing nut. He ended up kneeing the thing. He didn't. I really didn't see that coming. Like being so strong that you actually hit it with your legs and screw yourself up.
Yeah. I actually remember quite a few people have made that mistake. They just kip up too high because they're so focused on the swing, and they end up kicking the next wing nut. It's unfortunate, man. Especially, it wasn't even the kip up. It was when he like flew through the air, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that sucks because, like, I can just imagine. You're there, you see it, and all of a sudden you're not focused on your knee, but it hits it. The thing just flies out from where your arm is supposed to be.
But Darian looked really strong. Great little segment for him. Hopefully, we'll see him back.
Yeah, adorable family.
After him, we had Zach Day, 19, all day. It was his catchphrase, I guess, or as we call him, all day Zach Day. Mm-hmm. His dad died in April, and he got the call on the same day of the funeral, the call from ANW.
That's the definition of bittersweet, man.
Oh my God. When you think about it too, what occurred to me was they were saying it's just a few months ago. I was like, no, it was a month ago when they filmed this. Like it would have been like only a short time before.
Yeah. This hit me hard just because it's the story of his father and the fact that his father was young. I think he said he was like 50 or 51, something like that.
Early 50s, yeah.
Yeah, and you could see his father was so not only passionate about his son, but also American Ninja Warrior and his son excelling at it. This was a journey that both of them were taking. And the fact that he passed so early, just out of the blue, it sounds like, and, right before his son's finally able to compete on ANW, like, it's so sad, but, like, I'm sure Zach, like, this is the definition of when you see somebody, pointing to the sky and really like, holding their chest or whatever they do, where it feels like somebody's on the journey with them. I can really see this kid really like in his heart of hearts, running with his father throughout this entire competition.
Yeah, sometimes there's a bit of a reach with the segments, right? They'll, like, oh, my second cousin, was this or that. Like, this is his father, and it was very fresh. It wasn't like reaching back to 10 years prior. We're talking a month, basically, before he's running this course. Like, it absolutely would be at the top of his mind through this whole run. And he did such a great job. I was just willing him through the whole course as much as I could. He made it to the back half. When he's on the captain's wheel and he made that transition, I was so excited for him. He did run out of grip there, but man, oh man, just one of those emotional runs that you're not fully prepared for in the finals. There's just so much in the qualifiers that you think that they've tapped it all, but wow, that was a story.
Yeah, it was, man. It's the definition of why, sometimes the story is more than the run itself. And think about the courage that it took for this kid to actually talk about, losing his father so close. I mean, I don't think I would have been able to do it, to be honest with you. I mean, that must have been really, really hard to do. It's not necessarily congratulations. That's the wrong term. So I'll just say, Zach Day, your family, everybody involved, thank you so much for sharing your story. You get the visually profound edit of the night. Thank you so much.
After Zach, we had Dave Kavanaugh. Seems to be a ninja favorite. He comes up an awful lot in the ninja community.
Dude, for real, would you want to have this distinction? Like, this poor guy does so well, and now because he's become the king of the walk-ons, this poor guy has to every single year amp it up more and more going to the walk-on line, because ANW is like, oh, no, you're going to be the walk-on line, dude. Like, I get it.
I don't
that's
think
his
so.
chick, but it kind of sucks. It's a double-edged sword, man.
I don't think they did that on purpose. I really don't. There's something we're missing here. King of the walk-ons here. He's a fireman. He's a gym owner. He's a longtime ninja veteran. Like, I feel like he beat stage 1 last year. What does he need to do? Like, his personality seemed fine. You'd think he was, absolutely the worst person in the world the way they're treating him here. Like, why is he forced to go to the walk-on line every year?
Dude, and the worst part is, and I do not blame A&W for this one, this guy is, like, spending more and more time on the walk-on each year. Like, next year, it's going to be a month. And I'm sorry, like, dude, I got better things to do with my time.
Well, that's the thing. They've kind of the behind-the-scenes thing. The walk-on line isn't quite how you picture it or how you would normally visit, right? They're not tenting out there the entire time. They do all kinds of different things. They're talking about switching it up in the ninja community because it kind of unfairly favors local competitors where they can just check in each day on their way to work, kind of a thing. So we'll see how that
you basically just show up in the morning, sign a little thing that you arrived, and then you're gone.
Yeah. But all these different cities, there's no way he could do that without a lot of traveling, a lot of camping out on someone's couch or in a hotel. So, I mean, it's still a huge thing.
For a month, bro. He's hitting 30 days next year.
Yeah. Yeah. The lines are getting longer. As they make the lines easier to stay in, the days are getting longer.
At what point are we going to hit, like, 6 months? Like, you finish A&W and, like, the line begins again.
Yeah, I don't know what the solution is. I'd be interested to hear what everybody else's solutions are. I know some of you are ninjas yourselves or have been in the walk-on line, so if that's been sorted and I missed it, I would love to hear it because I don't know what's fair. I don't know how you give that opportunity, give a certain randomness, but also allow people who are more dedicated a better chance.
Yeah, that's something for better people than us to figure out.
Right. We'll stay out of that one for sure. But Dave did, really well. He beat the captain's wheel, which was really exciting to see, and ended up going out on the Spinball Wizard. Unfortunately, I thought he was actually going to finish the course the way he was going.
Yeah, was he the only one that failed on the Spinball Wizard?
I think maybe. Yeah, it's possible.
I'm actually pretty surprised. Like, to be fair, I mean, I guess there weren't that many people that got to Spinball Wizard.
Oh,
I'm pretty surprised of how many people like did well on that thing.
Yeah, actually, somebody at least one other person failed. I can see it down there. Yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, that's a hard obstacle, man. This is not going to be one of those I'm going to be like, just like, Spinball Wizard, I can do that in my sleep. No, I can't.
No, the quality of the competitors getting there make it look a little easier than it actually is.
Yeah, definitely.
After him, we joined James McGrath mid-run, who did.
I am all for this, bro.
Reaches right across the captain wheels, uses that big long reach of his to rotate it faster, and just flew through the captain's wheel, made it look way easier than it actually is.
Dude, so this was the thing. I originally noticed it with Kavanaugh, right? He did that wide-angled reach with the spin wheel, and I was like, man, he's onto something. He's doing really well. And I feel like James McGrath perfected that technique. And I think this is the way to go if you have the reach for it. I mean, this is absolutely amazing, where they have the wide reach, almost doing like a damn... what's the Tyler Yamauchi thing? You know, we're basically making the cross. Yeah, iron cross on that thing, right? But instead of having to continually reach upward and drain more of your arm grip strength and your back muscles, you're basically just letting go with your back arm, with your left arm, right? And just slowly gliding yourself downwards while the spinning wheel turns. It's absolutely ingenious. Like, I really think this is the best way to go. You're not really using, like, muscles or anything. Like, you're holding it up, but you're not straining yourself upwards. Does this make sense, Rich? Like, you're just letting go slowly.
It does. I saw it go horribly wrong for a later competitor, and we can talk about when we get there. But
well, you got to know how to do it, man.
Yeah.
But, dude, if you could do it, this is the way to go, because at that point, you're only really, like, straining upwards maybe a third of the way left. So that's really, really smart, and I really hope more people take this approach if it becomes an obstacle that, you know, stays. I don't know, man. I was really, really impressed with both Kavanaugh and Beast McGrath with their technique on this. Very, very intelligent.
Yeah, he did great. He ended up skipping the fifth. I don't know what you call those things. The hanging bar on the Spinball Wizard. He was able to get through. Mm-hmm. Ended up failing the spider trap, though. He just couldn't push those traps up and got his fingers stuck briefly, which just made...
That was scary.
No, that's exactly the kind of thing I was worried about, but they have a little gap there. Thankfully, he's able to get his fingers out.
Yeah, I think I don't know, but I hope no testers were the unfortunate guys that learned, like, hey, with these 50-pound things on each side, let's not get somebody's fingers caught there. I don't know, man. Just, once again, tall guy having trouble on that obstacle.
Sounds familiar.
Was it Beast McGrath the one that said, like, it was easier?
He did,
or, like, it's not a problem?
He did, too. So, I don't know what was going on there. I mean, we know... You can't really see it in this episode, but we know it was raining like crazy.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, honestly, that's most likely the reason. Even if it's not raining on this, and even if they wipe it down, there's still so much moisture in the air, right, Rich?
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of precipitation that was probably screwing him up. But yeah, he definitely, when he was on the podcast with us, definitely said, like, no, like, there's no problem with it. Your height shouldn't matter, but something was tripping him up. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say it was the dampness.
Mm-hmm. Either way, man, hate those obstacles.
Yeah.
For somebody with long legs, that is the obstacle I dread more than anything else. After
the Beast, we had McKinley Pierce, who completely blindsided me. I did not, 5'1". Her mother was in a house fire in 2016. I just, instant tears, just bang, just hit me. I couldn't believe the story. Like, I thought they have a little fun segment with McKinley. Oh, McKinley, it's her time to shine. And oh my God, like, right out of the blue, her hashtag sassy strong, to lift her mother's spirits. Wow, that was a powerful segment for sure.
Yeah, her mom was so, like, sassy is there, but, like, just the fact that her mom was smiling and, still at her wits with her. It was never one of these stories where she's crying and being like, poor me or anything like that. And if she did, I don't blame her. 100% I don't blame her. But she still was a very strong woman, and just strong, like, emotionally. And I was it was nice to see. Yeah, she had something terrible happen, but that's not her story. And I like that about her.
McKinley was able to beat the broken bridge. I was a little worried about her there for a second, and then really worried when she got on the wingnuts. She was not getting very much height. I thought, oh man, she's going to fall on the wingnuts here. But she made multiple one-handed catches. But she missed the trampoline bounce to the lightning bolts. Like, I did not have a good feeling. Once she went back up to the platform to jump down to it, I thought, this does not bode well. I don't know that this is going to work.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, it harkens back to when smaller, usually female competitors just fell on the transition with trampolines. I can't knock it too much because I've seen enough women, do well in the transitions this year. It's just something where, as you said, the comfort wasn't there. And honestly, I feel like this is something that she will learn over the next upcoming year. As a smaller female competitor, I think she knows she needs to learn how to be comfortable on these trampolines.
It's funny, actually, Michelle Warnke on the recent National Ninja League podcast was saying that she's still not comfortable on them. She's trained on them. She's bought one. She still finds trampolines very intimidating.
They're awkward, man.
Yeah, I can appreciate it a little more now. But next we had Jamie Rahn, Captain NBC, who got married this past year. But the focus of the segment was Ninja Nation. I was so excited for them. Like,
dude,
huge segment for them.
Yeah, like, it was a full-on, like, thing about it. I was shocked. I'll be honest with you. I was shocked. Like, and it was really cool. They basically covered everything, right? They said all the people that were working with it. Jeff Britton, Ryan Stratus, Jamie Rahn, all the other ninjas being, like, part of it and showing a lot of the obstacles and the fact that they're, like, building, like, high-class, like, gyms. I don't know. I was shocked, man.
I know, because they tend to skip over all of the work by the ninjas themselves, right? They kind of gloss over, Wolfpack type activities as, like local competitions, the National Ninja League, local competitions. Everything's just local competitions. Ninja Nation, they got a full-on commercial. It was great. I was very happy for them.
Yep. I bet Jeff Britton was even more happy.
No doubt. They do tend to shove him aside at times. But yeah, Jamie himself was looking great on the course. He was able to beat the captain's wheel. As soon as he did, I was like, I don't know that I would put my money on any other competitor more than Jamie to beat Spinball Wizard. I don't know why. It just seems to suit his skill set perfectly.
I just thought he had the course after that part. Like, that was for the captain's wheel. That was the only one that I was worried about for him. And he's got, like, grip strength for days, so I really wasn't all that worried for him in that either. But those final two obstacles, as you said, just something about him and his training, those are just made for him.
Yeah. He was able to beat the spider trap. Everything was good. Finished the course. I think they said he finished it last year, too. That's great. 2 years in a row. Fantastic.
Yeah. Dude has really, really, like, he's just so good now. It's so crazy if you watch him from, like, season 2 of American Ninja Warrior and now here, Man, what a journey.
Yeah. After him, we had a commercial run. I don't know. We need to come up with a name for these things. They're not fast forwards. They're just, I don't know.
Muted runs or whatever. This was one, honestly, that I couldn't care less about. I feel bad for the competitor. I forget his name, but yeah, it just wasn't the same.
But then again, that's the kind of competitor I would rather see at those segments, right? One that we're not as attached to, right? Judas Liquiadero. Fantastic. Like, he'd be one that we would normally fast forward, but he gets a segment at least. You can see the full run.
Yeah. I
don't know. That's kind of hit or miss.
No, I agree. I mean, like, as you said, if this is where Andrew Lowe's actually gets shown, right. Like, I'd rather it be that, right? Or Nicholas Corger or anything else. So, yeah, you do have a point.
But he did pretty good. once they show them in the commercial run, I swear to God, it means ninth obstacle. It's the ninth obstacle run. We might as well call it at this point. He ended up going out.
I think you're right, man. Like, if we look back, it's usually a ninth run, huh?
Yeah.
If not, it's the eighth.
Yeah, I don't even know if we had any eighth. I'm pretty sure they were all ninth. Like, it's just the perfect amount of time to cover the length of a commercial to show them pick their way through the course. They wouldn't show a finish that way, probably. Please prove me wrong. Mix it up next week.
Oh, if Nicholas Coolidge, goes all the way, they'll find a way.
Right. They always do. But yeah, great run by Judas. He was able to beat the captain's wheel, and he failed on spin ball, as I said. After him, we had Gavin Ross, the paddle ninja sprint canoeist. That's apparently a thing.
Dude, this guy could be the next Grant McCartney. I mean, he is a big dude, strong, and as you can see, athletic as all heck, man.
Yeah.
If he really takes on to ANW, this guy could be big.
He's already big. He's 6'2", 200 pounds.
Yeah, you got me there.
Yeah, he was struggling on the captain's wheels, and his hand slid off the first wheel. No doubt, because of that size. That is a lot to try to take through the course.
Dude, watch him do the wing nuts. Like, on the third one, his feet are almost near the pad while he's still hanging on. Like, this guy is huge.
Big guy, for sure. After that was Casey Rothschild, and I did it again. I swear I was looking down at my phone or computer. I was not looking at the screen because I was getting ready to start taking notes, and I just hear the noise, the buzzer go, and the splash. I'm like, wait, what? And I had to rewind it. She fell on the archer steps. Like, how did that happen? I mean, I saw how it happened, but it sucks. I was so prepared for her to go deep into the course.
Dude, this was the one that sucked bad, man, because it was low key, but they were amping her up. Like, you didn't have a whole segment, but they were like, yo, this is Rothschild. This is the one where you just saw her being like, I forget the kid, whatever his name is. I forget. Matisse. Yeah, Matisse. And all these other young guns, she's a female equivalent. She's the one that hit the buzzer on her rookie year as the youngest woman ever to do it, all this stuff. She's built as all heck, right? She kind of looks like almost the same build as Alyssa Beard, who's doing amazing. And she's so athletic, and everything about her just screams superstar. Gonna go so far in A&W, all this stuff. Trains with, I think, Drew Dreschel or somebody. Everything there. And she falls on the first obstacle, bro. I screamed. I was so heartbroken because I really was expecting big things from her. And obviously I still do, but I thought this was the time. This was the time where we see something really big coming from one of these really young kids. And we've seen it all year so far, but man, the female equivalent, that would have been so amazing. And she still is going to be able to do it. Next year, she's probably going to be 19 or 20, still young as all heck. And I expect a lot from her. Man.
Yeah, I was really surprised when I had read up on her that she hadn't been doing ninja that long when she beat the qualifiers. Really fairly new to the sport.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so, I mean, wait to see what she can do next year. Unbelievable. After her, we had Lucas. I did not get the pronunciation of this. Reale. We'll go with that. Joined in mid-run. He was very excited on the course, banging the mat when he beat the lightning bolts. Super excited through the whole thing. I love seeing that kind of energy.
Yeah, man. Dude after my heart.
He ended up falling on the captain's wheel. He grabbed the opposite side of the first wheel and spun out. So this is the guy that basically tried to do that technique, but missed the part about grabbing it with your left hand as it started to rotate. He just kind of spun the whole thing right out from under him. He just couldn't quite get it down.
Yeah.
Next we had Logan Craiglow, an engineer who hyperextended his knee and had a laundry list of injuries that sounded really bad.
Ugh. So just seeing the video itself of this guy and everything that he's done. I mean, he's played football, bunch of other sports, right? Track, all this stuff. And then he like has the worst injury ever that would just sideline most people for like forever. And he was able to mentally like have that drive to come back and then do like really high end track and field in college, man. Just your thoughts about like his journey.
Pretty unreal. Like he came back stronger than he left, right? Like he came back and beat his own records on the long and the high jump. Like unbelievable that he was able to do that when, it would actually look like briefly that he may lose his leg. The injury was so serious from football. Like absolutely crazy that he was able to do it and looked very solid on the course. He ended up falling on the first lightning bolt. Unfortunately, I was really disappointed. I thought he was going deep. I thought this was going to be one of those big exceptions, I guess. I was waiting for the new face to really kind of shine this episode, right? We had some veterans doing really well, but I know this season's all about, dropping the age limit. We had some new faces and who's going to stand out. I was waiting for somebody that I wasn't really familiar with to grab the spotlight, and I thought this was the guy, and unfortunately he did go out earlier in the course.
So with everything that I've seen about this guy, not only his athleticism and the fact that he was just so beast mode with everything that he's done pretty much all of his life, but the fact that he overcame a very, very serious injury and had that mental drive to always push forward. He did 2 years of physical therapy, and I've done physical therapy. It is so incredibly painful to do. Like, imagine just if something hurts, you don't want to put pressure on that, but they make you put all the pressure on that and continually drive through it, The fact that he very much had the mental drive to do better. I could see this guy, if he catches the bug for American Ninja Warrior, I can see him being a fixture for years. And I really think that we should not sleep on this guy. Sophomore year is usually when people do well. They get the bug and then they start training and training and training. And if he trains the way that he trained for track and field and everything else that he did throughout his life, I could see this guy being very, very, very big in this sport.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Najee would be a good example as well, right? He hurt himself in gymnastics, injured himself quite seriously, and came back and did ninja, and obviously is a superstar who we'll get to see later in the episode. So yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Like you said, the drive and determination it takes to get where he has already achieved, if he focuses out on ninja, sky's the limit. After him, we had Chris Wilczewski, who I just came almost out of nowhere. As much as he's been around, we've never seen him compete like he did in the qualifier. We've never seen that level of passion and determination, and he just stood out so much. It was like one of the best runs of the season.
Oh yeah, you were talking about like the star, being made, and this was the episode of veterans, a lot of veterans doing well, but this was a breakout star performance. His star, where it was like mid-size, now it's big.
Yeah, he totally grabbed everyone's attention, and you could not turn away. He was beast moding through the course. He was very slick through the captain's wheel. He beat the whole thing, fastest time of the night by like a minute. Like, there was no touching his time. They didn't even attempt to show the clock for anybody else. Chris was just fantastic. I'm so happy. I was worried that the qualifiers might have been not a fluke, but I didn't know if he could carry that steam forward into the next night, and he 100% did. It was so great to see. I'm so excited to see what he does in Vegas.
Yeah, 100% your sentiments, man. The guy was so strong that he even just hopped on one of the pegs on the captain's wheel. This obstacle that
Right.
everybody was having trouble with. He basically just jumped in the air and just grabbed another one. Like it was nothing. Guy was just on another level, intense focus. But it was all surrounding and almost a culmination of the story that he's had. We saw it in the qualifiers, this incredible story that he had. And I'm glad they recapped the story, but they didn't belabor it. They didn't have it super, super long again, And everything around this run was so perfect. But at the end of the day, the most important thing was the emotion. He showed so much emotion especially at the very end when he hit the buzzer. I mean, it just was so awe-inspiring and drawing in. I'm so happy for the guy, and it should be no shock to anybody. Chris Wilczewski, you get the athletically profound run of the night. 100% deserved, and I am so happy for you, man.
Yeah, there is nobody that puts the amount of attention, passion, and everything into Ninja that Chris does, building up leagues, building up gyms and other competitors. He's just done so much for the sport. Love to see that he gets the time to shine. We had a fast forward of Mike Bernardo next, who went out in the wingnuts. So disappointed to see that.
Dude, that sucks, because that means the season's over. Mike Bernardo's dope.
He's so fun to watch. Him and Ryan Stratus have so much passion and bring so much to the course. Sad to see Mike go and that he didn't get a segment this year, but hopefully he comes back again next, which I'm sure he will.
Bernardo needs to grow out that beard, man. Have like a triple threat match.
After Mike, we had Alyssa Beard take the course.
Speaking of beards.
Oh, speaking of beards, yeah.
You see what I did there? Joke's terrible.
Very nice. The segment that they showed with kids playing and, dressing up as her as Halloween and then arguing over who gets to be Alyssa during their playtime was one of my favorites I've seen from her. I love that.
That was hilarious. But the best part, I'm so sorry, Bees, but the fact that kid was like, I don't want to be the boyfriend or whatever.
It was pretty funny.
Poor McGrath, man. He's getting he's about to be the new well, I can't even say his name because he's just the boyfriend.
Lebrec's boyfriend. Yeah, he's just
Lebrec's boyfriend, man.
No, but Alyssa did great. Not quite as far as we were hoping. She was able to beat the lightning bolts. So she was going to Vegas. She made the transition from the captain's wheel onto the bottom two spokes, which is probably the hardest place to try to grab that, I would think. And slipped off a short time later.
Yes, it's the hardest part to grab. I was screaming when she was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I mean, who am I to judge, Alyssa Beard and her technique? But I'm just saying, have at least a little bit of, cross airs, dude, I thought so when she was at the start line, I was like, she is going to be the one. The thing that put me on pause though, when because I paused it, and I shouldn't have done this, but I paused the TV to just I think get water or something like that to watch her run. And I noticed that she wasn't the last run of the night. And I'm like, no, because there's no way in all heck if she completes the entire course that she's not the final run.
I knew she wasn't the last run.
Come on, bro. There's no way.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it's Najee, right? So it would still make sense. It's not that
I
would
love
make
Najee.
Najee's run any
Najee
better
is
than hers.
Not...
Well,
I agree, man, but...
Yeah, I get it. It would deserve to be the last run of the night, but it wouldn't necessarily be, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
Did you think she was going to go all the way, though? Because, before he saw that, I 100% thought it was.
Yeah, I knew she wasn't the last run of the night. I still thought she was going to do it. I thought she had it.
Man. She at the end of the day, though, she went so far. I mean, we can really see Alyssa Beard's on another level this year. I think she's really, really focused. If she doesn't, I don't know. I see her easily, and I'm saying this right now, I see her easily completing stage 1 this year in Vegas. And I'm very curious to see how well she does in stage 2.
Oh, man. It's not that far away. I was thinking I can't wait. And wait, I actually don't have to wait that long now.
Was it 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Man. That is really soon.
A great run by Alyssa. Unfortunately, still haven't gotten a female finisher. We have one region left to go to have a woman finish the city finals course.
So what do you think? Megan Martin? You think she's gonna do it? She's the only it might be another female ninja, but that's the last high profile female ninja left.
Yeah, she got second place though. She was behind. Oh geez, I forget who I can't remember. There was she did get beaten out though. There was a woman that went further.
Do you think she's gonna complete it, or do you think we're not gonna have one this year?
I guess it depends on the back half of the course. Megan's perfectly capable of doing it. She's been on the back half before. We know she can spider climb like nobody's business. So I don't think the spider trap will be an issue. So those two obstacles, that's all we have to worry about. But she didn't finish the qualifier, though.
Yeah.
Right? She fell early.
Yeah, but it was a battering ram, man. Like, I don't know. I felt that more of a fluke. Like, she just accidentally, like, just slipped off of it. I see her completing the battering ram. And I don't know. I still have hope. I still have hope that, you know, it's going to be a woman. And I could see her definitely being capable of doing it. So, next week, Megan Martin. Do it for the women.
But wrapping up this week, we have Najee Richardson. He had a great segment working with kids. I just love that guy, man. He is everything that Ninja's all about. Like, he just brings so much to sport. He's an amalgamation of all the best things of the Ninjas, right? We get the working with kids like Kevin and Flip. He's got such a great voice. He reminds me like Daniel Gill. He's got such a soft, like, pleasant voice. I got to get him on the podcast at some point because I just think the guy's wonderful.
But he's got a great look and, as you said, personality and everything. Like, you can imagine, like, last year when this guy was in stage 3, like, the NBC execs just, like, frothing at the mouth, being like, please win. Because, like, this is the guy that they want on every single, like, trailer and everything else. Like, I have to imagine if they want the face of the next American Ninja Warrior, if it's not Jesse Graff or, you know, something like that, Najee Richardson's got to be way up there, man.
Yeah, he just flew off the bow ties, too. That guy can get so much air.
Like, that was insane, right?
Like, I get it. I love when he goes off the wall. Like, he goes over the wall intentionally to give that, you know, that bit of air.
Yeah.
But that was almost too risky. Like, what are you doing, Najee? Like, calm down. Like, we get it. We know you can fly. Like, you don't have to ruin your chances at moving on.
Yeah, and now I think about it, Ninja versus Ninja, wasn't he the one that was having, like, leg problems, right? Because he, like, cramped up?
He cramped up in the qualifiers for this, too.
Yeah, so don't fly, like, super far and land. Like, that's a good point, man. Nobody needs that.
I found out why, by the way, and I can't remember where it was. Was he on, he made one of the podcasts or Ninja, not Ninja Nation, ANW Nation. I found out why. He does not hydrate enough. He fully admits that he does not drink enough water at all. And he constantly forgets. Wow. And that's why he cramps up a bunch of times.
Damn. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I was surprised.
At least in track and field, that's called the rookie mistake.
It seems like such an easy thing to remember, but I guess not.
Yeah, I hopefully he learns.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Ninja versus Ninja and
yeah,
so
apparently not.
He still got some learning to do, but hopefully, you know, that at the very least, that's a very quick fix.
Yeah. And what's funny is Vegas is so dry anyway. You have to drink a ridiculous amount of water.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't play into it at any point. It hasn't before. He's made to stage 3, so he was able to beat the whole thing. Not a really big surprise. He's so next level. But he didn't beat Chris's time. He was not even close. Like, Chris absolutely destroyed this course in a way that nobody else did.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, though, he had a really fun run, and I can understand why they see him as a bigger star and everything. So I'm not, hating on the fact that he's a final run. Really great stuff, and I don't know, man. I could see big things from him in Vegas. I don't see him finishing the entire thing, though.
No?
No, I don't know why.
No, I can see that.
I know you have him high, capable of finishing the whole thing. I don't know. Maybe I just, I've seen him struggle this year, like with the knee things. Maybe it's just like in my brain a little too much. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I can't picture very many people finishing the whole thing. It is such a crazy thing to accomplish that the list is really small, but he's definitely on it. Yeah,
he's definitely capable. For me, I don't know. Like, look at my fantasy league thing. Like, for me, there's a very small amount of few people. For when I look at it, I in particular look at the third and fourth obstacle, and I don't know, man. Of all things, really, I still feel like Josh Levin's number one in terms of capable of like winning the whole thing, and who was the other one? Maybe Adam Rail and a few others, right?
Yeah. But speaking of all these big ninja athletes, they actually competed at Rockford Ninja Warrior this past weekend in Rockford, Michigan. Huge ninja competition that we don't talk enough about. They put up live streams of the event. A huge stadium full of people. It is like the biggest ninja competition in the country other than ANW itself.
Yeah, like you were saying, and I didn't know this, you were saying it's like way bigger than Wolfpack and NNL and everything?
Seems to be, from everything I've heard.
Dude, that's crazy. I've been sleeping on this. Like, I'm obviously aware of it, but I didn't realize it was that big of a deal. This week, and I'm sure all of you fans out there have noticed, like, every ninja on the planet has all these streams of their videos on this competition and everything. So, pretty interesting. So, Rich, kind of a switch up this week. Rich doesn't know the results of this competition, right, Rich?
Yeah, I kept myself in the dark, and we're going to let you read the results this time around.
Yeah. So, first of all, I need to know, out of these, say, 5 people, who took number 1, okay? We have Joe Moravsky, Adam Rail, Andrew Lowe's, Josh Levin, and Lebrec's boyfriend.
Okay, and I think these are speed competitions, right?
Yes, I believe so. This is a pro competition results. So, who do you think took number 1?
I'm going to say Joe.
Joe Moravsky.
Yeah.
And you are wrong.
Was it Adam again?
It is Adam Rail. Took the number 1 spot
first
again.
Instinct. Why did I switch it up?
Dude, it was less than a second difference. Joe Moravsky took number 2. Less than a second. I have to imagine Joe Moravsky and like Drew Joshua and a few of those guys are like, this damn Adam Rail. Like, just we're always so close, but and everybody completed all the obstacles. As you can imagine, it was just about the speed, and just Adam Rail is on next level in terms of that like bottom sprint. We've heard a few ninjas talk about it, but it's when he lands on the platform and the transition to the next obstacle. He has this incredible, like, just, I guess, I don't know, speed, like this powering through it. So in terms of full results, right? Number 1 was Adam Rail. Number 2, Joe Moravsky. Number 3, Michael Torres. Number 4, Lebrec's boyfriend. Number 5,
Chris DeGangi.
Andrew Lowe's.
Give the guy his name back. It's Chris DeGangi. Okay.
Okay, for this competition, yes, DeGangi. I'm sorry, bro. I hope he knows I love him. It's just, it's too funny. Okay, number 6, Josh Levin. And number 7, Reese Pancratz. And I don't know if I know that person.
Doesn't sound familiar.
But, yeah. Number 8, Ian Dory. Number 9, Sam Sherbrooke. And number 10, David Berger. So, congrats to everybody that, did well. Jessie Lebrec hit number 13, by the way. So, good on her. She got really far up there.
She's fast. She's so good, too. Oh, wow. 13th, like, overall. So, do they not have a men's and women's divisions? Just the one?
It doesn't look like they have a women's division. If they do, it's not in the results part.
13th. That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, especially like Flip took like number 18, and Flip's like really, really fast. So, in a field of really strong, fast ninjas, for her to get 13, very, very impressive. And also there's a Maggie Owen, took 15. I don't know Maggie Owen, but I mean, that's really impressive also.
We need to get back into National Ninja League. We're falling out of, we're losing the names, right? We used to be on top of it all because we saw
real.
the competitions.
There's too much to cover, man. It's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have.
That's true. All right. Well, that's interesting. Very cool. So you can check out. They do have video of a lot of these competitions.
I mean, you don't need to. I just have to point this out because I just noticed it. Guess who took? I don't know if it's last place, but on the last of this list, number 45, and I believe it's last place.
Who?
Take a guess.
Who got last place?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Please tell me. Is it Isaac Caldero by chance?
It's Isaac Caldero.
What?
And I don't wish ill upon people, but I'm just shocked by that. I was like, what happened?
The only person I could think of that you would laugh when you saw it. That's the reason I guessed him.
Yeah. I don't know, man. He apparently fell on the first obstacle. I don't know. That's a shock.
Oh, wow. That is a shock. All right. I'm going to safely navigate out of this now to... I want to give a big thank you to Andrew Fitzgerald and family. Thank you. Your messages on Facebook were great to receive. I really appreciate the support. We both do. Andrew, thank you very much. And we also had a review, did we not, Bijan?
We did. Special shout out to Imad Fahimuddin. I hope I'm saying that right. I as somebody with a Middle Eastern long name, I apologize if I'm butchering it. But Imad, big shout out to you. He looks forward to listening to our podcast every single week. And yeah, just once again, love all the fans, support, everything like that. You guys are awesome. And Imad, you get the 5-star review of the week. Thank you so much, Imad. You're awesome. And once again, to butcher your name, because I love saying it now, Fahimuddin. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much. And if you guys
Go
would
ahead,
like to
Rich, say his name.
I am not even going to try. But if you'd like to read the reviews, you can find them on our website, by the way. I don't think I've mentioned that before. They are up on our website. Click the link at the top. It says iTunes Reviews, and you can see everyone's reviews there.
Or go to iTunes, where you can review the reviews and write a 5-star review.
A much better idea. Yes, do that one. That one's much better. And if you post a 5-star review, you will get a shout out from Bijan. And if you'd like to reach out to me, you can reach me as rich@ninjapodcast.com. I am at Ninja Podcast on both Instagram and Twitter. And Bijan, how can they reach you?
Yeah, hit me up at Twitter and Instagram at Bijan151. That is Bijan 151.
All right, thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a fantastic week.
Peace and love, y'all.